The Jerusalem Gift Shop, 10% off everything. Coupon code ILTV.
Hello and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras here with ILTV's morning briefing. In a landmark speech on Monday evening, Prime Minister Netanyahu and his coalition partners agreed to dissolve their government and the parliament with it, launching early elections this April. The final bill to disband the Knesset is set to pass on Wednesday. But in fact, Netanyahu said that he wanted to spark elections weeks ago after former Defense Minister Avigdor Lieberman resigned, and he only postponed the decision in order to first attend to the Hezbollah terror tunnels along the Lebanese border. That being said, he continued that, with God's help, the Likud will win again, and the same core parties will form the next coalition to, quote, complete our work. The opposition, which also allows the coming elections, though, isn't planning to go down without a fight. Zionist Union Chairman Avi Gabay said the battle with the Prime Minister lies essentially with him and him alone, while his party partners like Tzipi Livni echoed his sentiments, that the ruling government has destroyed Israeli democracy and that a change is needed. Other opposition leaders like Ahmad Tibi, Tamar Zandberg, and Avigdor Lieberman also joined in the campaign trail, charging that the ineffective government must be brought down. Even Gideon Sa'ar, former education and interior minister with the Likud, officially signaled his return to politics in the running against Netanyahu, forcing his television anchor wife Geula Evan-Sa'ar to resign from the Kan Public Broadcasting Network on Monday. Still, all the polls so far put the Likud with Netanyahu at the helm in the lead with 30 Knesset seats, regardless of who runs against him, which is virtually ensuring that Netanyahu's predictions for April will come true. Now, with the newly called elections, analysts and critics have gone into overdrive to determine the reason Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu decided to dissolve the coalition yesterday after having fought so ardently to keep the government going just a few weeks earlier. While at face value, the coalition seems to have collapsed due to infighting over the contested ultra-Orthodox enlistment bill, critics believe that there's a more sinister reason at play, namely the threat of looming indictments over Netanyahu in the Wallach Bezek corruption case, or Case 4000. Leaked reports from Attorney General Avichai Mandelblatt's office revealed that he may issue his decision on indictments in Case 4000 before the elections in April, and therefore analysts point out that it is no coincidence that Netanyahu called for elections at this time. Mandelblatt only this week announced that he would begin reviewing the case files, but of all three cases facing Netanyahu, Case 4000 is considered the most serious. The Prime Minister is suspected of having advanced regulatory decisions in exchange for positive coverage from the Walla News website. But in a press conference announcing the elections, Netanyahu of course would not comment on whether Case 4000 played any factor. So whether this is the real reason behind the dissolving of the coalition or not, one thing is certain. The possible indictment announcement of Netanyahu and its timing will be a major issue on the campaign trail. In related news, prosecutors have until today to reach a deal for Sarah Netanyahu to confess to a misuse of state funds or face going to a criminal trial during the national election campaign. Sarah Netanyahu faces charges of fraud and breach of trust for allegedly spending around 350,000 shekels, or roughly $100,000, on private meals in the Prime Minister's residence, while there was a full-time chef on staff. Also impacted by the announced elections, the selection of a permanent commissioner for the Israeli police could be put on hold until after a new government is sworn in. Currently, Moti Cohen is serving as the interim police chief after Roni Alshech ended his term and the candidate selected by the Public Security Minister Gilad Erdan was forced to resign amid scandal over his conduct in the vetting process. Cohen has a mandate to serve for only a limited time, though, but the elections and dissolution of the Knesset could delay finding him a permanent replacement. It seems that government functions, negotiations, and investigations in Israel aren't the only things being brought to a halt following the announcement of snap early elections this April. Just hours after Prime Minister Netanyahu dissolved the coalition and in response to it, the White House announced that once again its much-anticipated Israel-Palestinian peace plan will be delayed. Trump administration officials explained that they don't want to influence the Israeli vote. Mark Zell, the head of the Republican Party in Israel, said he couldn't imagine that anyone in the White House would think about releasing the plan in this volatile time, and indeed Washington has also insinuated that releasing the plan at this time would only serve to be used as a campaign platform one way or the other. First delayed from publication in September, the Trump Middle East peace plan will now only likely be released after the dust has settled in April and after a new coalition is sworn in during the weeks that follow. Archbishop Pier Battista Pizzaballa, the Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem, led the Christmas Eve midnight Mass on Monday in the Church of the Nativity in Bethlehem, believed by Christians to be the birthplace of Jesus Christ. And the Mass attracted hundreds of tourists from around the world and was also attended by Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas and Palestinian Prime Minister Rami Hamdallah. In fact, this year Bethlehem is enjoying its busiest Christmas season on record and has fully recovered from a 10-year low in 2015 that followed the wave of knife stabbings and car ramming attacks. The Palestinian Ministry of Tourism said in early December that hotels were almost fully booked for the holiday season as well, due to the relatively calm security situation. Now, Christians comprise about 2% of Israel's population. According to a Central Bureau of Statistics report released ahead of Christmas, there are approximately 175,000 Christians living in Israel, more than 3/4 of whom are Arab Christians, and the localities with the largest Christian populations in Israel include Nazareth, Haifa, Jerusalem, and Shefaram. The report also revealed that the Christian population is growing. In 2017, the population grew by 2.2% compared to 1.4% the previous year, though this increase resulted mostly from the immigration of almost 600 Falashmura Christians from Ethiopia.
Merry Christmas!
That's all for now. I'm Aaron Porras, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.